Ho'oponopono. Welcome home, my brothers, my sisters. I have today for you to share this with you by THERESA Crabtree, someone very special and familiar to me. You can go on THERESACrabtree.com and investigate this situation. Okay? Pay attention to this. I always like to show this part of the book. I do love this part of the book. So, yes, if you know anyone in need, please keep them in mind. Next, I'm going to be moving on to reading from this date. And in the back of the book is pretty cool because it mentions like all of the calendar for all the years to come. So I'm going to read to you now. Good day to you. I am Ix, accompanied by Tone 9. Together we welcome you to this time of sharing, which in essence benefits all on earth and beyond. On this day, we would like to share teachings regarding the misuse of the word love. Your words are more powerful than you can fathom. We wish to inspire you to pay more attention to every utterance you make and every thought you think. The meaning of love is the fabric of which the universe is made. In the beginning, there was love and only love. As love created the desire to share itself and know itself on various levels, it fragmented itself into bits and went in every possible direction out from the source of love. Every fragment of love went on a quest to experience love in a variety of ways. Many fragments with similar interests grouped together and created a variety of realms or dimensions. As each group removed itself farther from the source of love, the dimensions were created. It was not until specific groups were far removed from love that the idea of not love came into existence. Try to imagine coming from a space of pure love with the intent to experience not loving things which as lying, cheating, and selfishness. It is impossible, yet there were many that wanted to experience what it would be like to be removed from love. The initial intent was not to control others, neither were there any preconceived notions of lying, cheating, or selfishness. These things had never existed before. The pioneers who chose to co-create realms of not love were spirits like your adventurers Lewis and Clark, who set out on their journey to explore and map out uncharted regions. Long ago, adventurous souls set about creating a realm where not love was possible. They quickly discovered that in order to experience not love, they would need to completely distance themselves from the memory of love. Various realms were created by like-minded groups, one of which is planet Earth. The way the creators of the Earth chose to experience not love was to create a state of amnesia upon entry. How could they be assured they couldn't get lost? They created a buddy system. Before incarnating, it was decided the major segment of the soul would not incarnate. This aspect of the soul is sometimes referred to as the higher self. Before incarnating, each soul goes before a review board to offer suggestions of what they would like to experience while on Earth. In order to have these experiences, they recruit their friends and acquaintances to help. If a soul wants to experience sadness, he will need to find someone willing to do things that would allow him to feel sad. Perhaps in another lifetime, they would reverse the roles. You may be thinking, how could a soul be so foolish as to want to experience rape, murder, or theft? Initially, there was no definition of anything that was not love. These pioneers had no idea what to expect when they set themselves on this stage called Earth. Why are all these things still allowed on Earth? The answer is free will. Although we do not judge any behavior, we do see the pain and loss of love that is created as a result of these experiences. This is why we are sharing our knowledge with you to help you remember your spiritual roots, thus allowing you the tools you need to create only the experiences you prefer. There are also myriads of other souls who have enlisted to help keen incarnated souls from getting too far off their path. They are also commonly called guardian angels or spirit guides. The Earth was set up with polarity as a means of experiencing not love. As you walk your paths of discovery, you learn to live in this world of polarity. Although it was never intended for it to be so far removed from love, it was allowed to evolve unhindered. However, there was a timeline set for this experiment. This timeline was created so no one would get lost forever, unable to return to love. Like all cycles, this phase of the experiment is coming to an end. What was initially a slight separation from love in a beautiful garden exponentially grew into murder, rape, and mayhem. There are not many souls who are currently interested in coming into Earth. There are not many souls who are currently interested in coming into Earth just for the experience of not love. However, there has been a marked interest in coming to Earth at this time to be a part of the grand experiment as you create something anew. This realm, as you know it, is about to end. This has happened many times before. The full impact of what will occur during these changes is unknown and is creating great interest from all sectors of the universe. We share this information to give you a brief outline of what is happening on Earth. It is imperative that you consciously awaken to the potential that lies within you. Those who wish to continue with the experience of not love are granted permission to do so. Many of you are ready to move out of this realm of not love. The Earth was not set up to have these two realities occurring at the same time. Soon there will be a rift. It will not be a war between the good and the bad, for there is no such judgment in the eyes of Source. All has been allowed to occur as a gift to those who want to explore the universe. However, each universe, each galaxy, each planet has unique laws that it is governed by. These laws were created to allow specific experiences to occur. The laws on Earth were designed to allow for a depth of not love to occur for a time. That time is now coming to an end. What will happen to those who wish to continue in not love and those who wish to move closer back to their roots of love? There will be a separation, much like what is described in various ancient writings. Each individual will have the opportunity to decide which path he wishes to experience next. There will be no casting into hell or going to heaven. There will simply be a choice to remain on Earth in its current form, which could very well lead to its demise if no changes are made, or the choice to leave Earth and to go to another dimension where the vibration of love is higher. You are now in the planning stages of creating the higher realm. We encourage you to dream big as you co-create your next home with other like-minded souls. It is up to you to create the world you wish to live in. There will come a time when the separation will occur. This need not be a time of sorrow, for no one is lost, although you may be separated for a while. Just as an out-breath follows an in-breath, at one point, all will return to love. No one is ever lost, although it may appear that way while in your state of amnesia. There is order in the universe and laws are upheld. Trust that all is well and decide where you would like to put your time and energy. What brings you joy? What ignites your passion? Dream of ways you can live a passionate life full of joy. What do you need to release in order to live the life of your dreams? Start today by taking steps towards realizing your goals and taking care of your needs. Many of you are preoccupied with taking care of the supposed needs of others. You are solely responsible for your soul. Choose what you wish to experience and say no thank you to anything that leads you away from your goal. Take time each day to meditate upon the things you wish to experience. With the help of your angels and guides, you will be able to release the pain and suffering you hold so close to your heart. Tear down your barriers of protection and allow your love to shine, and learn once again how to receive love. Do not be naive. You still live in a world designed to experience not love. As you reconnect with your intuition, you'll more readily be able to discern the motives of others. And to be more aware of which each path is likely to take you. There are many of us in the various dimensions who are ready and willing to assist you as you move out of the world of polarity. Reach out your hand, and we will be there to help guide you through the maze. As you release your fears, your blinders will be removed, and you will be able to see more of the big picture. Soon the day will come when we are reunited, and you will be able to see us face to face again. In reality, we have never been separated. Soon you will know and understand this. Until that time, believe that you have the power to do anything your heart desires. Remember your gifts and choose experiences that move you closer towards love. We are here preparing for the day of celebration when you return home to share your experiences with us. We miss you and support you in all you choose to do. Selamet X9. So I do apologize because so many times I'm reading and then I notice that I'm adding words as I'm reading, and that's not really my intention. I do find it fascinating, this book and this spectrum and the different ways that this is expressing itself, especially you could say time, space, and how things are just designed in a certain kind of way. I enjoy a lot of the terminology that's used here, especially the buddy system. Especially in speaking of terms of reincarnation, how we have all these agreements with our forefathers. You could say our great grandmother's friend, that we agreed that in this life that we would be her friend too, and that we would be kind or respectful, or maybe we were really mean or evil in the past, and now it's our opportunity to do right to all people and to bring this harmony, this unity, this greater understanding. I also enjoy how she challenges you to kind of dig deep within and kind of to ask some questions. Some of them were kind of leaving me gasped, right? Having to really whoa, think about this. She says, try to imagine coming from a space of pure love with the intent to experience not loving things such as lying, cheating, and selfishness. Challenging you to attempt a space that you actually, I don't know, I can barely get my mind to wrap around that dimensional space, and it's not really a place that I really find a lot of pleasure and joy diving into. So at times I choose to not allow my mind to activate in those neural pathways, but at the same time I can see how it can be beneficial to be able to operate your mind from different levels of standpoints, even if it's not your actual genuine character. I guess what would you call that? Risk assessment maybe, or really being able to give definition to what your foundations are standing before you, being able to properly give narrative or expression, if not even to yourself, to just have a map of what's exactly happening or what's presented before you. Yes. There's so many different realms that also were kind of dived into this aspect of true love, I was totally expecting some type of push upon self-love, once reading true love and all these different things, and it kind of accessed a different part that I wasn't really expecting, that kind of allowed it to be a surprise because I'm reading it out loud to you for the first time, so I'm also having a personal reaction to the message or content that has been laid before my eyes, or that I've been blessed with the opportunity of, or whatever, and that I've chosen to explore my time and spend my time and share this in this way. And she says, how we're in the planning stages of creating the higher realm. I'm mapping the territory right now, accessing which level can I go to next, what is my best position, and where am I happiest, where am I performing in a space that I am being true to myself, I'm being authentic, not just authentic, but genuinely joyful, happy, celebrating, really, really, what do they call it, feeling like yourself, when you get into that level where I'm really feeling myself, or just just really loving who you are. And let's be honest, even if it's something that one may narrate from a religious standpoint as being sin, or something naughty or something bad or not socially acceptable, right? But also really feeling yourself, not feeling like you're bad. Let's say it's nakedness. Let's say you're not allowed to be naked and that's the rule. But then, like, being naked, it kind of just, like, brings you freedom or a sense of liberation, or right, just being, like, in your own skin versus how you might feel in, like, clothes that don't really fit so comfortably, or, like, maybe not the right size. Or there's many different ways of framing this, so I apologize for trying so hard to get you to follow the story. More so, what's meant to be, you could say, or the space that I'm holding right now, the intention that I'm holding is to actually be able to really process this. I'd be tempted to even, like, re-listen to this that I've just read. Sometimes it can be very uncomfortable to listen to my own words, especially, like, when I'm struggling to listen to my own words, if that makes sense, or struggling to listen to my own thoughts and all those other beautiful things that come with human nature. We're really dwelling upon these ideas, especially, like, if you've never explored these ideas before. Like, let me share that aspect too. Just spending a few moments meditating, or just dwelling in repetitive thought, or just allowing things to stream consciousness to consciousness, instead of trying to control your mind and tell your thoughts they're all evil, or, like, whatever aspect that you're on, but just simply allowing what to step through. And you could say the word love. Just notice, does your body get tense? Do you get scared? Do you get excited? And something else that stepped through today, as I am delivering my messages, I had the honor of receiving the message. Perhaps I should rephrase it, like, as I'm in service to others and I'm providing these psychic messages or God messages, whatever you want to call them, okay? Many times, like, I receive messages too, like, while I'm receiving for you, like, I'm learning the same thing. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's almost like I have the blessing or the honor. Hey, I know you. You in the comments. Thank you for joining the live stream. Hector, I have to blame you and give you a heckle. God, Hector. Hector. I'm so grateful to know you by name and not just your username. You've been such a helpful person. You've actually been one of the people in my life who, normally I would be ashamed to say this name, but it's the name of Jesus Christ, like, honestly, spending time in church and with your daughter and just getting to know the stories in the name of this person, Jesus the Christ. It's been quite the temple of exploration that has kind of allowed just a different framework of just imagining what it could be like to be like this kind of person, instead of like the kind of person that I may have seen before, or just have an awareness of the different characteristics and possibilities of being. LOL, I miss you too, dude. I miss you and your whole family and your crew and your wife and all your kids. Heck, Hector, freaking heck. I can't make this stuff up, man. If I wasn't a mermaid, maybe I would have never met you, but, you can go back to stories of believers and all that different stuff. It really is interesting connecting all the dots backwards. And it is kind of ironic that you showed up at this time, as I'm kind of coming back into my faith and coming back into my choice of deeper understanding of myself and what I've come to know, and kind of poking holes in things that I think that are true, and kind of like reassessing myself and remembering, like bringing back all the pieces, and then working with like old narratives can be complicated, right? When I say old, not like it's an age way, but like maybe certain different chapters of my life that I worked with this healer or this person at this time, that this person showed up at this time, or I had this opportunity to invest in this person's service, or to spend time here or there, and kind of the portals that it led to. War Nemesis. Sometimes my light shining is like a color that people don't like, you could say. I'm a very unique shade, and not everyone wants to bask in my glories. Oh, my brother. God. What a sister in me you've helped carve me to be by just simply, like, providing me with your presence and welcoming into your home. Like, and your bravery for just approaching me on the streets, right? And St. Augustine witnessing me standing out front of the Wolf's Museum of Mystery and letting me know your story and how you had donated to my GoFundMe and supported my mermaid tail dream when I was building that career and had an interest in just doing something different. And also struggling to accept myself and stepping into my power, you could say. I learned how much I really loved working with children and helping kids heal from trauma and witnessing myself in them and kind of really having extreme empathy. I mean, there's so many different levels that all of this like is weaved into itself, but it's just an honor to exist, to say the very least. And to me, that's just complete love. Like, that's what love is. Especially as like you get to know like the story, the whole history, like it's very deep and complicated, and it's almost like it's not meant for one to completely comprehend and access and understand. The word way shower comes to mind. Path maker. Setting down stones, set an example. Man, that reminds me of a fortune cookie I got here. Let me get it. It's like one of my favorite fortune cookies. I've been holding it down. If you just want the numbers. I'm just kidding. But seriously. What greater honor than to be a person before another person who is in struggle or in strife or in misdeed or mischaracter or misconduct, right? Or distrust or lack of faith. You know, what greater gift can we give than ourselves and be like, yo, this is what I got, man. This is what I got. Here's me. Let this be my offering of me. This is all I got. I got this brain. I got these feet. I got these hands. I got these things called lungs. They let me breathe. Whoa. I feel like I need to read Hector's line out loud. Oh man, I'm shy. It's hard to say your line. He goes, I will always be here for you. You are and always will be family. Just remember, we always have to understand that the veils come off slowly until we're able to see the bigger picture and see it clearly. Rah, 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 rah. I'm always fighting God. I'm like, God, I don't like this story. God, I want to change this story. No, God, things aren't supposed to go this way. God, you made a mistake. I'm that kind of sinner, you could jokingly say, right? Like, I'm that guy. I'm like, hey, God, did you not get my message? Hey. But I do appreciate what you're saying, because, you know, the shadow in me, or like the flip side is that, yes, it's true. Like, God's not going to show me every little detail right now, you know. I kind of just have to trust what God's telling me to do and what God's path, and trust that it's good and that it's not intended to hurt me in any way, shape, or form. If I am to follow the guidance and instruction that I'm given from heaven, instead of, like, you know, temptation or deception or, you know, any of those, the enemy, like any of those attacks, right, against the spirit, not the flesh. Like, sometimes it can reflect the flesh, like, right, like my personal demons of eating ice cream, right? Different expressions like that. And you know, Hector warned Emesis, you know, the other shadow of things is recognizing my own things where perhaps I'm not trusting, you know, not just man or woman in front of me, but also you could say our Heavenly Father or Mother, yes, like all that, like really trusting and feeling safe, and like what it really means to be here for you, and like all those different things. And that's like never really personal, you know, the distrust. It's kind of just reflected, and then it kind of can reflect at like another level of distrust of the self, of like, can I really trust myself to do what is good for all, or am I going to do just what feels good for me and for now? Or do I know that it's right, that like this other person, I don't know. I'm always trying to solve things that I can't really solve. It's kind of like one of my main problems, is that obsessive compulsive desire to answer questions that no one can answer. And like, it's almost like I want to jokingly say a cancer. I have those levels with my thoughts where I'm like, can I just stop thinking? And there's other times where I'm just like completely celebrating thought and ideas, and like being able to network and channel and communicate with other individuals, and to be able to get concepts across and to change the future from, like, you know, rewiring our networks. I'm grateful to share space with you who are joining me live here. Hey, yo, you're a master preacher. Hector says he didn't take you this far to abandon you. Yeah, I've been working hard on this like re-narrative of God, I guess you could say. You know, like there's been like a lot of slander against God, slander against Jesus, slander against, you know, the Quran, slander against like every religion ever, right? Like there's all this hatred. It's like people are allergic to the God word, and like I can't lie, like I've had people use the you know the God language, and then they show you very much so that you just know is not like God, right? Let those who know you but don't know God come to know God because they know you. Something like that, okay? I hear you. You're a master preacher. I hear you, and I hear you even more so because like it's not even your intention to come here and preach. Just I sincerely needed to create a circle and find like my brethren, my sisters, like people who are just like here and now, and that can like, you know, this is my space, and I'll have other spaces for other spaces, but right now here's the space. And Hector, God, what a blessing to have you in the circle. Ah, God, teach me why your name says War Nemesis. God, I'd like, I feels like it's come up a couple times today, just how like supposedly like, you know, like demons or whatever affect you through your thoughts, or that like it's a war of the spirit and not like of actual flesh and bone material crap. I don't know. Like again, like I'm at the tip of the iceberg of understanding some of these spiritual teachings, but they are kind of fun to ponder on. And sometimes they can kind of like almost like get you high. Like when you get lost in that feeling of faith, like there's just some type of super feeling of surrender and just trust and just like confidence that there's like this loving presence that's just embracing you everywhere you go, and that you can't run from it, that it just loves you. But like there's other times too, like where you go dark, or you forget, or I don't even know what to say. The Quran teaches really heavy of that I love that they teach in that way, that like when we fall from God, that we lose God from our hearing and our sight. It's almost like we're forbidden from hearing God's word personally to us, plus the visual, like not being able to see. And then you have like another religion, like through the Bhagavad Gita, of being able to see Krishna in everything, being able to see God in all things. And I find great beauty and aspects of great expression of the times and the ages and just the lineages. I just think that there's something really beautiful and magical happening, and that we're just not putting together the full picture. And I do like coming together with like minds who also are capable of taking a step back from their personal map and looking at the bigger. And then most of all, doing your part. That's kind of hard, right? Like doing your part. Like let's say God's calling you to go sit in a closet and just read your books for 37 hours, that you got to finish every single book on your bookshelf, and that's what you got to do. My belief is that we are to submit to that it's best to just obey, to just surrender to what's calling us. And we're not going to be able to give a story to anyone else why I need alone time and why I need to process this book or whatever. You know, I'm just trying to make up some like random type stuff, but it could be something as simple as like, hey, Holy Spirit in me is guided, I got to go for a walk, or I got to drop my business card here, I got to do this. Some call that a hunch. And that's someone that I thought of just now. It's actually Florence Scovel Shin. I'll preach her name a million times and call her energy into the space, man. This woman, like, God, I wish I could hear her real voice. My ego just made a prayer of saying, God, I wish this woman was real. I wish I like knew people that knew her family, or I don't know. I'm calling that type of magic and miracle, and I get near tearful and like emotional in very loving ways, you know. Part of it is from the faith of just the idea that I just invented that prayer, that it's very possible to come into the inheritance of, you know, the individuals who are the worthy heir, or you know, the lineage, the children of Florence Scovel Shin. And my deeper questioning is, you know, was this followed as a religion or as a practice, you know, this way of speaking the word and really using our language in this particular way, which is something I've been really, really mindful of lately, actually. Like, I actually just took this class that was kind of teaching that meditation is it's like this Greek word. God, I can rewatch the sermon again, okay? But basically it broke down the actual word, and that it meant to focus upon, or like or to repeat to the self. It was almost like japa. And japa is repeating the name of God to you over and over again, by the way, if you haven't heard of what that is, which is said to bring you to a higher level of consciousness, or like great peacefulness from within, is by honoring and witnessing the presence within. I wonder what that means. I just got a text message. What's that mean? Break it down for me. God, holy presence. God, help me keep the faith. It's just so freaking hard. I can't even stay focused. And then my ego's like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's just this whole thing. It's like a giant ceremony. It's a dance. And it's funny. It's so funny, but it's not funny. Like, you ever have those moments, like, with your creator God, and then you're just like, you gotta call it creator God, because, like, who else is watching? You know, it's like a big comedy show that, like, only you had watched everything that went down. And you're like, what? Oh, my God. Hey, I just discovered something, and I love discovering things. Take a guess what it is. It's like this cool little thing. Hey, it doesn't seem to be going anymore when I hold a button. Oh, it's going again. I have to hold it the other way. Hey! I don't understand what's happening. Maybe it's dying. But yeah, I found a gadget. I found a gadget hiding underneath a bookshelf. Anyone that knows me knows that, like, I like to play detective games. It's like one of the most fun games ever. Hide and seek, let's go. Jonah learned the hard way. I don't really know the stories of the Bible at all, to be honest. I'm, like, still new to, like, all of the religious texts. However, I'm interested in every single little bit of information about God that's possible. And then I like to kind of, like, you know, play with it and sit with it. Salah. Salah! Speaking of Salah, I'm totally super duper behind in uploading on here, so I do totally apologize. I do. I apologize so much. I'm sorry. Like, I only have so much energy, okay? And then, like, half the time, like, you know, there's, like, that struggle of self-worth of, like, oh, my God. Like, what do I do? How do I spend my time? Balance between, like, you know, expectations. Plus, again, that other stuff, like what God's asking you to do. Hector says, it's not about how many times we fall, but how many times we can get up and continue to fight. And Patrick says, celebrate our creator. Yeah, I'm working through that too, you know, like, even when, like, the hand that I'm dealt is, like, what us humans or whatever can define as shitty, right? Like, I can find a way to just say hallelujah, like, thank God I got this hand instead of that other hand. Like, I probably could have been dealt a worse hand, right? Like, I'm sure I could play that game. But more so, having an acceptance and an allowance of what is, instead of, I guess, regenerating ourselves in a way that we don't really choose to go. Recollecting ourselves and rebuilding ourselves in a way that we are conscious that we are building ourselves to be this character that brings us joy and happiness, telling the story that I am this person, and then it's not about other people. It's so interesting. And again, it feels so interwoven. And I feel like I don't have permission to give you all the answers or everything that you might be seeking, because half the fun is the process. Hello, brother, sister, hear this. Hear this. It's the process. The process is like the main celebration, going through those freaking boo-boos, right? Falling on your face. Like, when have we learned the most lessons? How many times until we got that breakthrough? You know what I mean? How many times, right? Like, my ego instantly wants to say, oh my God, okay, I hear, pow. My beloveds, my sister needs me. I need to GTFO, okay? That's all I can say. I have more to serve. I have more to share. I would love to share my beloved sister and her story with you and all those different things. There's so many different levels. And I'm just like, you could say I'm not on the ball. I got work to do. I'm not on the ball. I'm trying to get on the ball. This page felt like a good step to try to get back on the ball. Thank you so much for gathering. Oho mataki oe senjabiguan. Say a prayer for all of us. Say a prayer. Oh.